This is a program on how to handle any objection. So what is the process? What are the steps exactly to being effective at handling any objection that you're going to encounter? Well, step one, ladies and gentlemen, is to listen. Really, really listen. And that, of course, means that I must do what? More listening and less talking, which is what I keep saying all along. You know, talk less, listen more. Talk less, listen more. Well, this is a perfect example of that, making sure that I'm really listening. The second step is to determine the meaning. Make sure that I'm pretty confident this is either a smokescreen or it's a question for more information or they're giving me some direction that I need. I want you, when people to object, I want you to go on to step number 3. I want you to smile and show your confidence. See, I want you to act like you were expecting him to say that. He says to me, I don't like the carpet. I give him the biggest smile I can and go, I understand. I mean, come on. Don't be acting like I was worried that, oh gosh, I was hoping you didn't notice the carpet. I want people to feel like it's okay that you had that objection. That's a good thing. Okay, step number 3, ladies and gentlemen, is to show your confidence. Give them your biggest smile. Now, when people object, for me, because I believe that objection helps me to bring this to a successful conclusion. See, I believe objections are good. So step 4 for me, and it should be for you also, is to throw them a cushion. I want you to throw them what's called a verbal cushion. When somebody objects, I want you to give them your biggest smile, show your confidence, shake your head, and throw them a verbal cushion, which is, gee, Eric, I understand this is an important decision, and you want to make sure you're making the right decision, right? I mean, I want to make them know it's okay to have an objection, because that's going to give me direction. So in order for me to do that, every time they object, I'm going to throw them a cushion. Well, that's great. Well, I understand. Well, I'm glad you thought of that. Gee, that was really good of you to think of that. I mean, I want to throw them a cushion and let them know it's good. They're on their toes. You should be having objections. It means you're involved in the process. And by the way, if you're not getting objections, I'd be worried if I were you. If you're not getting objections, what that means is we're not creating an environment in which the people feel comfortable giving us objections. So objections are good, but I want you to, show your confidence, give them this, then move on to the next step, which is throw them a verbal cushion. Now, once you've thrown the verbal cushion, I want you to immediately, as part of the same process, okay, I haven't even taken a breath yet. Well, I understand. I want you to move on to the next step. I want you to clarify the objection. And clarify the objection, ladies and gentlemen, means exactly what it sounds like. I want to be clear that I'm hearing what it is that you're saying. So, Eric, just so that I'm clear that I've done everything I can in order to help you people make a decision, what is it exactly that you feel you need to think about? See, I'm trying to clarify. I want to get some clarification. I just don't want to leave this, I need to think about it, hanging out there. That doesn't make me very good at helping you, does it? I mean, what kind of person, if you're supposed to be helping me and I say I need to think about it, you go, okay, go think about it. You're not helping me. A good salesperson, a professional, would try to clarify just to make sure I've done my job in order to make this process easy for you folks. What is it exactly you feel you need to think about? Now, folks, that leads us to the next step. And this is a crucial step in the objection handling process. You must isolate the objection. And isolate the objection means you must isolate it down to what the one thing is that's, or 2 things or 3 things or however many things that there are. Just to clarify my thinking, what is it that you feel you need to think about? Well, Bill, we just need to think about the size. The size of the property? Yeah, the size of the property. The size of the rooms? Yeah, really the size of the rooms. Well, what is your concern? That they're too small? That they're too small. Well, let me ask you this. Are there any other concerns you have about the property? If there wasn't a concern about the size of the rooms, would you folks be prepared to move forward and own this house? You must isolate it, because if I don't isolate it, and he gives me an objection, and I handle it, there will be another one. And then I handle that, and there will be another one. And then I handle that, and there'll be another one. And that's one of the things that I want you to learn to do. Find out what it is and keep there. So the only thing standing in your way is this. The only thing keeping you from owning this house is this. You need to isolate it. Now, what if I try to isolate it? What if I say to the seller, well, what is it exactly that you feel you need to think? We don't know. That makes it very difficult for me. Then I want you to go on to the next step. What is it? Is it? Yeah, the next step in your objection handling technique is called what is it? Is it? It's exactly what it sounds like. What is it? Is it? So I say, well, what is it exactly that you folks feel you need to think about? Oh, Bill, we don't know. We just don't like to make quick decisions. We just, we're not that kind of people. We just need to think about it. Well, once again, I can't leave that floating out there because I haven't done my job. So I'm going to go through a series of what is it? Is it? Well, let me ask you, is it the location of where the property is? Well, no, that's okay. Is it the floor plan of the property? Well, no, that's okay. Is it the size of the... I'm going to go through the what is it all the way. Rather it be with a buyer and a property or a seller on a listing presentation, I'm going to go through the what is it? If I can't get them, what is it? To come forward with what it is, I go on to the next step, number 8. I make them squeak. Oh, yeah, I make them squeak. I make them squeak is where I actually put it right out on the table, that dirty, filthy, scary thing called fear. And I'll just say to them, Mr. and Mrs. Homebuyer, let me ask you something. Is the reason that you're telling me you need to think about it tonight because you're afraid? Because I'm asking you to go forward and make a decision to own this property and you're afraid because you're afraid this may be a wrong choice for you? And so you think if you think about it, that you may have some kind of, clarity? Is that what's going on here tonight? I mean, I make them squeak because it is that. They know it and I know it. The part that I don't get is why we don't talk about it. We try to all pretend that, oh, okay, well, you go ahead and think about it and I'll call you in a couple days. Like, do you really think they're going to go home, stick a chair in the middle of the floor and sit there? We're thinking about it. No, they're just afraid. If I can't move successfully past this point, what I know I need to do is this. I need to go on to number 9, which is I need to add value benefit. Once again, what's slowing the people down and preventing them from making a decision is their concern that it's not the right decision. So the only way I can help you make a decision and feel comfortable about it is to add additional value benefit or to explain additional value benefit. I might not be able to add it. I may have to just go over it again to make sure you get it, because a lot of times they don't. And so, that's part of the problem. So then after I add value benefit, I ask you to go forward again a different way. And to me, objection handling techniques, a lot of it is, ladies and gentlemen, fear. A lot of it is stall. A lot of it is things that if I will follow a process of trying to find out, rather than just, like a lot of people say, the best thing to do is just ignore objections. And sometimes that can be true. But if it's a real objection that people have, your job is not to ignore it. Your job is to help eliminate it. And not by running over the people, but by bringing it out in the air and clear it out, the problems or questions or concerns that they have. And I don't know any other way to do that except this. This to me is a great 10-step system for allowing me to help people deal with the objections that they're going to have, because whether it's a stall or a question or an expression of interest, I can handle it the same way.